And we are live, guys. How's it going this evening? I see we got Urban Country in the comments. I see we got Lexter in the comments and Pierce C. Thanks for joining us, guys. Of course, you guys know this is Bobby Legs. What watch you wearing tonight, Bobby?
So I am wearing the Mudmaster that
Okay,
I just
nice.
picked up. My buddy Michael sent in a Mudmaster for me to review, and I liked it so much that I picked one up myself. So I really like this.
Nice.
I think this is going to stay for a while.
Can't go wrong with beater. That G-Shock, which we're
Yeah,
about to get in that term. And I'm wearing that new Citizen,
very
the
nice.
Blue Angels watch. It's a bit of a busy day. I'm deciding now whether I'll keep it or not. I kind of dig it. Kind of a cool everyday wear. I can wear it, when I go back to work and everything. We got a designer Atelier in there, Watchdog Podcast,
Hey, Glenn.
Cowboy Swami. What's up, guys? But
Clayton, what's up?
yeah, kind of cool everyday
Peter?
wear. And when I made this, I didn't know. By the way, Clive is doing the live stream over there, guys. If you guys want to check him out too, and on his channel. But I didn't know we kind of did it at the same time on accident, I think. But anyways, guys, tonight's topic is, as mentioned, should we have the term beater as a regular term in the watch hobby? Because my $150 that I spent on this Citizen is what I would consider to be a beater. Would be like a lot of normal people would consider that to be a lot of money just for a watch in general. Like the $150 is a lot to spend on a watch for a lot of normal people. Or me, you consider like a $5,000, $6,000 watch. It's just like we don't Blake and I like spending that kind of money. And a lot of people would like for like $150. What do you think? Do you think we should maybe try to change the term in the hobby?
Well, so it's an interesting. I almost say it just because, or use that term because everybody pretty much uses that term, and I never really put too much thought into it, what it can mean to somebody else when I'm saying it.
Mm,
Now, when I think about my beater, I think about my trusty G-Shock, right? And I wear it
mm,
all the time, more than any other watch I wear, right? So I wear it around the kids. I
mm,
wear it when I'm outside working on the property. Something that I don't mind if I bang my wrist on a door or whatnot. It's a trusty piece, so I mean it. I think it depends on like how if you're coming from a positive space or negative space, right? So I think of it
mm-hmm.
more as a positive, a beater, as something as durable, trusty, you know. But I can see how it might turn off some people, and then comparing, well, his beater is my, my grail,
Yeah,
or my
like this might
forget
be some, a lot of people's Grail watch might be that,
or even and look, grail is another episode, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we got to be careful how we use that term now, right? But
Mm,
maybe it's somebody's like, goal watch, let's say.
mm,
And you mentioned earlier how, like, you spend a couple $100 on a watch. Now guys like me and you are spending a little bit more, but there was a point in time when I couldn't spend more than spending more than $100 on a watch was bananas. I mean, this thing only tells time.
mm,
Eventually, when you get in the hobby, for some of us, um, the sting is a little bit less. The higher and higher we go, the longer we are in the hobby. So it's not like me and you jumped into the hobby and started buying two or three or $4,000 watches. It didn't work that way for me anyway. I
yeah.
started very, very slowly and then realized what I wanted and what I appreciate, and then figured a way to make it work within my budget. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I think we should be careful how we use the
Mm,
term beater. I guess.
yeah, definitely. Because, like I said, I mean, you might offend somebody without even thinking about it, even though it's not really a bad term per se, or we're not really using it as a bad term. But like I said, I mean, I started off, buying watches like this, like you mentioned back in high school. I would buy, Fossil shark
Yeah.
watches.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know the shark watches, the freestyle watches, but I'd buy watches like that, and that would be, a lot of money to me back then.
Yeah.
So
No, no,
that's
absolutely. I mean, same thing with me. I mean, I was buying G-Shocks and Fossil watches when I was in college and even out of college, and then I
mm,
started hanging around with a crowd, um, or guys who were making a good amount of money, and then they started rubbing off on me, and then I just found a way. And then I went back to buying, affordable watches, quote unquote,
Mhm.
affordable watches, when I got back into the hobby a few years ago. And then I moved myself back up to what I buy now. But I mean, I'm buying
Mhm.
watches from all perspectives. Look, like this Mudmaster, I got this
Mhm.
from. I don't know if you've ever been to this guy's YouTube channel, G-Shock Go. He's out of Chicago,
Mhm.
and he does a lot of G-Shock reviews and
Okay.
Casio reviews. But then he once in a while he'll run a sale, and he has like maybe like 100 watches that he's running through. So this watch was new. It had a hand tag. It didn't have a
Okay.
box, but it was new. And
Yeah.
the MSRP on this watch is 350. I got it for 140 bucks. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
like
Me there.
for me, like this is like I'm just as happy as getting this as any other watch in my collection because first I think I got a pretty good deal and it's freaking cool. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like I mean I know it's huge, but I love it.
And that's one way to get a good deal too. We were talking about Watch-Seek, the forum. Like I've been on Watch-Seek for years, and you can usually find pretty good deals in Watch-Seek. If you're in Random Rob's Patreon group, I'll plug that, by the way, if you want to join that. There's all kind of deals in there on Flipper's Paradise. Like people like you and me will buy, a watch like this or whatever,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
we might wear it for like a couple weeks or whatever. Then we'll go ahead and flip it for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean,
secondhand, I mean, if you buy them secondhand, you can usually get a pretty good deal.
absolutely. And look, everybody that I think everybody has definitely has room in their collection for a beater watch. You need that. I mean, okay, I'll just speak for myself. I don't want to say everybody needs one, but I mean, I need
Mm-hmm.
one because of my life circumstances, my family dynamic right now, and
Mm-hmm.
it could be the same for somebody else or different for somebody else. But I'm not going to wear my Black Bay when I'm uh, firing up the chainsaw. I mean, I probably
Mm-hmm.
could, but with all that vibration, I don't want to mess up the watch. So, I mean, I got this guy now. I mean, I
Yeah,
have my other G-Shock. So
exactly.
the term may be offensive to some,
Mm-hmm.
but it is an appropriate term at times for the right tool that we need. This is a beater. You know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, we got Tennessee Mike in the house. By the way, what's going on, Mike? And we got
Hey,
Six
Mike.
Killer in the house. What's going on, guys? And then Peter C saying a beater is not a bad watch in his opinion, which
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so either. I mean, it's just I was just thinking about it. And I was thinking like I said, like some people this might be a grail watch for some people, where I don't think about spending 150 $200 whatever on a watch, but at the same time, like a grail watch to me is like I'm saving back up for the Breitling the SOH2 as well. But then to certain other people, that might be considered a beater watch too, or like what I mean, like an everyday watch too, because that
yeah.
might not be a lot of money for some other people, to spend.
Yeah, I mean, and look, and somebody and beaters don't have to be G-Shocks or affordable watches. Like Design saying here, his
Mm-hmm.
beater was a Speedmaster, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. That's totally fine. Like Rob went through that the last couple months wearing one watch for the whole month, like the Tudor, and
Mm-hmm.
now his Speedmaster, and he's wearing it every day, and he's wearing it at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does that constitute it as a beater, an everyday watch?
Yeah.
Maybe the lines are blurred in between the both of them. Maybe they could be. I mean, they could be blurred. You know what I mean? They don't have to be either or.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe a better term for it would be an everyday watch, kind of like an everyday carry, but just like an everyday watch. Like you could
Yeah,
say like that marathon I had in, that would make a great everyday watch. You could wear to work, not worry about it, and it'll take a beating, it'll take a bash, and you don't have to worry about it. Whereas
yeah,
like if I had, like if I still had my Zenith Alpha Miro, I was afraid to wear that one just because I felt like it was so like fragile, I guess you could say. Like I
uh-huh,
was worried about wearing
yeah,
it and beating it up because it was a much more expensive watch.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not taking, you do some hard physical work at times, Chris, right? So
Yeah.
you're not taking your El Primero to do that. I
No,
had
no.
an El
Yeah.
Primero. You wouldn't do that, you know?
No, yeah, yeah. And no, if you get an office job, that's different. Then yeah, you wear a suit, whatever, to work. That's different. But if you got like physical labor job or whatever, I'd consider like a G Shock or like the Citizen here.
Yeah.
And then Six Killer is saying it's always nice to have a watch that can take a beating that you don't mind taking the brunt. And then Rob agrees with you. He says he agrees with Bobby Legs. I look at it as, do I wear the same shoes in an office setting? No, definitely not.
Right.
And then Mike is saying you need a German beater.
They're all beaters. They're all tough, right? Most of those German watches, they all could take a pounding.
You need a U50, man.
I mean, if my wife didn't put the kibosh on selling the GP,
Mm-hmm.
I would eventually have I would have eventually gotten the U50, but now it doesn't make sense for me to do that.
That's another one that's on the list. I think I'm gonna get the SOH2 first because I really do kind of miss that one. Surprisingly, I miss that. I don't really miss the Omega, believe it or not.
Wow. Yeah.
And then Design Atelier, he said he knows the scratches are made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he said the thing is he used to beat his watches, but in time he developed how to move his wrist in ways that don't hit doors and tables anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like sometimes like I'll hit my watch on stuff and I'll be looking down and be like, oh crap, wait a minute, what watch should I wear? And I'm like thinking,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not my Rolex, okay, good. You know.
Yeah, I live. Half of my house was built in 1880, so the doorways are, from room to room. There's no doors, but the pathway, whatever. There,
Mhm.
it's small. You know what I mean? So like, and the rooms are small in that part of the house. So I'm knocking my hand and wrist. I'm clumsy as it is anyway, all the time, man, all the time. So I definitely I still haven't mastered moving my arms in a way not to hit things.
What's going on, Lex? We got Lexter Dexter here. He's saying affordable watch Seiko Turtle PADI, which I had one of those. Those were great. The
Yeah.
the old Pepsi ones. That's actually another one I missed too. May end up being another rebuy. The purple with the I'm talking about, like the red indices and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Great watch, especially for the price. And see, that's another thing too. That one's like what, $300-400.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would consider that to be like a beater, but that's also a lot of money for a lot of people to spend too, though. So that's where I keep
Absolutely.
going. To where I don't even think about it because that's just what I'm used to. But again, like you said, we started out in the hobby like, $100 was a lot of money to spend back in the day, at least for me too.
That's why I'll make the case that for me anyway, and maybe for everybody, that the G-Shock is the way to go as a beater because it's not a stainless steel case, right? Most of them, right? You can get the resin or the carbon, and they just take a beating. And especially if you get like something like the DW5600, which I have, $40, man. I mean, like if it dies, you just toss it and get a new one. You know what I mean? And it's awesome. It tells the time accurately. It has a lot of great functionality, and it looks cool. It looks badass, and it takes a beat. 200-meter water resistance. I mean, it just takes a beating.
You definitely can't beat it. I wear my G-Shock, my all metal, the silver one. That's one of my favorite watches. One of the ones that have stayed, along with the Orange Monster, and I wear that thing everywhere. I even wear it in the pole. And that's others I wouldn't do that. Like the Rolex, of course, I would wear that in the G-Shock more places than the Rolex. Like of course, I wear it to work. I would never wear the Rolex to work,
Right.
minis or in the water or anything, because it's minis. You don't know whether the watch is going to retain water or not.
Right.
So
right.
I would never wear it in the pole or anything like that. But the G-Shock, I don't worry about it at all. And then Design Atelier is saying Lexter Dexter, their tanks. He has the PADI Turtle, the SRP 83. That's a great one. And then we got Peter C saying he needs a video on how to avoid scratching. And a lot of us have been around for a while doing it, and I don't think any of us still avoid scratches. I don't care how much of a veteran collector you are.
Yeah, I would love to see a video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be maybe like a parody video.
Yeah. I mean, look. Mike's right. Affordable watches have this place. He has a Casios. I can't. I can't wait till I'm done doing what I'm doing, and meaning that I'm trying to buy a watch that I've been trying to chase after for a really
Mm,
long time. And after I do that, I'm going back and I'm buying a bunch of. I'm gonna start collecting G-Shock. I've come to that conclusion. I want to start collecting more G-Shocks. I know I'm selling the Tron. I'll probably regret
mm,
that. I'll try to get it back one day. Um, but um, but even like more affordable side of
mm,
G-Shocks, a little pricier with more the resin G-Shocks. Like this one, like I'm a square guy, but I love this thing, man.
yeah.
I love it. You know what I mean? And I want to get a Frogman.
Yeah.
You know, so I
That's
mean,
one that's been on my list for a while is the Frogman.
there's so much fun, and it almost like you can have two parallel collections.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your quote unquote luxury watches, and then you can go have a digital collection, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I'm going to look at it. I know people are like, oh, it's one collection, whatever, whatever. I mean, it's my collection. I call it whatever
Mm-hmm.
I want. So I want to get back into. I really do want to like have like a big old um, watch box with just Casio
Mm-hmm.
G-Shocks of all kinds.
That little world timer I had, I mean, that's a great
Yeah,
little watch. I don't know
that's a great
if
one
you
too.
have one of those for like $30, you can't beat
I,
them.
I don't. I don't. But I mean, you can get that anytime. I can get that anytime I want on Amazon, and
Yeah.
it's a great watch.
Lexter Dexter's agreeing with Design Atelier. He's saying his watch of choice for the gym fitness center
Yeah.
is the SRP, and then where did it go? I'm sorry, I was trying to look for a comment there. Okay, yeah, Six Killer saying that his Invicta Pro Diver is a beater for work watch, which those are great
Yeah.
watches for everybody. Gives Invicta crap, but those are actually decent watches because they come with the NH35 and they have those design cues of the
Hmm.
Rolex sub, of course. And I always
Yeah.
say if you're not sure if you want to spend that kind of money on a Rolex, go ahead and buy one of those Invicta Pro Divers. You'll get at least the look for a little while, and you'll see whether you like that look on your wrist before you go spend and waste, it possibly waste $9,000, $10,000 or more on a
Yeah.
watch you don't
And
like.
and if you catch it at a right time or a sale, you can pick up that watch for like 60, 70, $80.
Mm-hmm.
I did a review on it. It's like one of my I got almost like 1,000 views on that review. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had one in a couple times, I think. And Designer Atelier saying true story when he got a sub, his wife would walk with him on the right side so the ring won't scratch the sub.
That's awesome.
I got to watch with my girlfriend. She doesn't pay attention sometimes. And she has like long keys, so I kind of do the same thing. Like when we're walking, and like I'll be walking, of course, not to sound corny, holding hands or whatever. And like her keys, like I notice them like start to like dangle down towards the watch, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
but and Cowboy Swami is saying the J-Star is a beast for a beater. It definitely is.
Yep.
Any
Yep.
kind of marathon you get, it doesn't matter which one, whether you get one of the quartz ones or the bigger 41 mil. They're all great watches. And then he's watching this watch expert from Pride and Pinion. He puts Casio as a god tier. You mean good tier maybe on brand ranking. Respect to that guy. Okay, I think
Maybe
I've seen
God tier, maybe like high up, maybe I don't know.
And then Lexter Dexter is saying Frogman. He has one. They're huge. Which
it's the same size as this, man. I looked at the dimensions. It's pretty much the same size. And if I'm okay with this, I'll be okay with the Frogman. I know for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And our buddy,
it's a little bit thicker, but
he's also in ran around this Patreon group too. Desire 68 Frogman. He's got a great channel. He's got like all different, like 20 or 30 different Frogman.
Yeah, man. He is the Frogman. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mike is awesome. He and plus I love listening to his voice in the videos. He's got that English accent. I'm like, dude, this is like I can watch this all day.
Mm-hmm. And then Six Killer saying this hobby is fun ride. You see watches that you'd like to add and look at from a distance. Yeah, there's still plenty of watches I want to add, and I of course, too many watches and not enough money. Of course, that's my problem. That's the one great thing about having the channels too, though. You get to see like a lot of different watches. Like I mentioned to you earlier. ECJ Lux is actually sending me a Young Hands Max Bill in. Should be in tomorrow. I don't know whether I'll do the unboxing tomorrow or not because, of course, college football. So I don't know if I'll do that tomorrow or I'll wait till Sunday to do that.
Young Hen's very somebody dropped, you must have dropped random Rob's name, I think. Oh, I just dropped it right
No,
now.
yeah, I don't think so. I mentioned he was in Random Rob's Patreon group, which I mentioned your Patreon group earlier, Rob. I told them to join because if you want really good deals, they got the Flippers Paradise section. Because we're talking about, I don't know if I'll end up keeping this one or not. You know me. I looked and I'm actually down to, counting my digital watches and my quartz watches too, I'm actually down to 8 watches for 24 now. So I was able to consolidate pretty good.
That's pretty good.
The only real higher end, if you consider it a higher end, is the Rolex that I have now, which is vintage. So I don't know if someone would consider it like higher entry level, maybe.
I still think I'm so if I'm counting the watches that I have for sale, I mean, technically my watches, I think I'm down to like I think I'm down to like eight. I think I'm down to like eight too. I'm trying to get down a little bit further.
Yeah, Random Rob, he's pumping out the content. He's inspired a lot of us, I think, to do more. I'm trying to do one every day like him, but I'm not quite there yet. There's a couple days of the week I usually take off. What about you?
What was that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was that, Chris?
Cowboy Swami was saying Random Rob pumping out content. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
I've been trying to do one
sorry.
day a week, or once every week, whatever,
I was
or one every day of the week. But I usually take 1 or 2 days off a week.
I was thinking about the watches. So well, I was telling you right before we started that today I broke my streak. I had 12 days or 13 days in a row of videos.
Mhm.
And I just you know what it is, Chris? Like I want to film like 3 videos or 4 videos at a shot, but I can't do it. Like I have to retake the same video, so I end up doing one. So I had to find the time. But tomorrow I get a pass because I'm doing a live stream. So and then I'll put
Yeah.
out something on Sunday.
See, I've had a lot
But
more free time too with my work injury. I've been
yeah,
out, which I'll be back in I go back on my birthday actually on the 3rd. So I don't know how much more content I'll be pumping out after, I go back to work. We'll see. I'm gonna try
yeah,
to still do one like I did before, like when I get off work in the morning, and just do one like right after I get off work every morning.
yeah. That's if you can get yourself into that routine, man, um you would have no problem pumping it out, man, because you get back from work, it's almost like you don't go right to bed, right? When you get
No,
back from
no,
work.
no. I usually don't
Yeah.
go to bed. I get off at like 4 in the morning, and I would usually go to bed at like 6, 7 or so.
Yeah, if you
So
could just pump out a quick video, you probably, I mean, you'll be tired, but if you can get that out of the way that after when you get home, man, that's awesome.
And Black Woman Gamer saying, any watches I'm wearing is my beater. She's learning to love the scratches. Okay.
I heard
And
you
then we got
because I love
the
you. That's great.
Sway the Scientist says to any and both you and watchers will get burnout in his opinion. And we got the Big Rest here. What's up, buddy? He said he did one a day for September. Way too hard if you have limited amount of watches. And then shoot as much B-roll, Bobby.
Yeah,
He's not affiliated.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And then since he Mike's saying he tries to do about 3 a week. That's what I kind of originally did, but now I'll try to shoot for at least one. But with these live streams and stuff, I don't really consider these live streams as like really work. Like I enjoy talking to you guys. It's just like BS and watches, pretty much.
Yeah, the live streams are interesting because I feel like I don't want to do. I love doing them. Don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
do whenever you ask. Most of the times I'm able to do one with you. I think this is like our second one this week that we're doing. So I think I did one with you on Monday, and then I'm on Almonds every Wednesday, and then I try to do one every other week for the watch collection. So I don't want to make people sick of me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do as many. But you're right. These are great to do. That it's a great way to connect, and anything that saves you from editing time, is a game changer.
Yeah, definitely. definitely. I was trying to do this one before. If you guys get a chance, go on JC Reviews. He starts at 9:30 tonight, I think. He's going to have
I think at 9.
average
Yeah,
Joe watch
9:30.
review. Yeah, average Joe watch reviews is going to be on there, I think. Watch Chris and one or two other people. So that's why I was going to try and get this in before, because he had his post up way before I think that he was going to do his at 9:30. And then Design Atelier, saying he's on all the live streams. I appreciate that, Jason.
You got to get yours, Jason, man. You got to get yours. You should start a live stream yourself, at least once a week, man, because you got a lot of things to say. So
yeah,
you should definitely do one.
That's good. That's good. Jason finally got on camera too. It can be kind of nerve wracking at first too.
Yeah, the first time I did it, me and you were actually supposed to do a live stream, and something happened. I think something happened, and then I just jumped in and I just did it myself. And once you're in it, it's so natural and organic. It's like just having a conversation with somebody, and it's all fear. It's all fear based, right? So once you get over that fear, you're fine.
Yeah, definitely. And you get used to it, and then Random Rob says you have to master the one take.
I know, man, and I can't. I want to, but it's just I'm not the most articulate person, I feel, and you know what it is. My mind, and maybe it's because I've drink too much coffee, but my mind is running too fast that my mouth can't catch up, and I always slip up and make mistakes. So I have to go back and do it. I'm just not a natural yet at that. It's going to take me a little bit longer to do the one take thing.
My thing's always been lighting. I'm trying to get my lighting better, which is getting there. I feel like
it's getting there. No, your lighting is definitely improved for sure.
And then scientists are saying live are better because they are more organic and the convo flows from topic to topic. I feel like that too. Yeah. Especially if you got people like us that have been together for a while. We you get used to talking to that person. It's a little different when you're like in different groups.
Yeah.
And Design Atelier saying he needs to. And then what did I miss? Sorry, just reading through the comments, guys. And then Design Black Woman Gamer saying she loved Design Atelier's Speedy Snoopy video. That was a great video. He does great work. He does great work on his editing too.
Yeah, BWG, she's all fired up about the Snoopy. She's on a list, and hopefully she gets it sooner than later. So
yeah,
I'm sure she's consuming as much online information and videos on the Snoopy, because I know exactly where she is. You know what I mean? Like I've had that feeling too. So.
It says CL027, does the finishing on watch makes you lean towards whether it's a beater or not, brushed or polished? Sometimes I guess maybe, like especially with the Zen, if it's like fully tegimented, you don't really have to worry about the finishing on it too much. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like if there's something that has a high stainless steel polish, I'm naturally gonna want to protect it more. If it's something is brushed, even if it's an optical illusion, if it's something is brushed or that tegimented steel, which has that matted look, you kind of worry about it a little less for sure. Look, I mean, if you're worried about banging your watches and getting scratches, then try to find something that has like a coating, or the steel is hardened to certain whatever Vickers they want to call it. I mean, and whatever Zinn is a good example. Damasco is a good example of German watches with really high grade submarine steel for their cases and bracelets.
Yeah, definitely. And Six Killer, I'm not a big fan of my voice either. You just got to learn to live with it.
Yeah. You just got to learn
your flaws.
Learn to live with it, and don't watch your videos. just do them and don't watch them, because you'll never hear your voice.
People are gonna like you for you. They're not gonna care whether I mean, they look at my ugly mug on camera. So, but Random Rob was saying tequila helps.
Yeah, for the one take tequila. Yeah, I funny thing about tequila, my freshman year of college, about my third weekend, like I had my father died when I was younger, so like when I would never go out late at night. on the weekends or weekdays in high school because my mom, I didn't want to worry my mom. I was a good boy. But then when I went to college,
Mm,
I had all this free time. And me and my buddy Carlos, we were hanging out with some other people that we had met, and I did 6 double shots of tequila in
mm,
like 20 minutes. Had no idea. Man, I was so sick. I went to the hospital,
mm.
and I've never had tequila since. Like if
Ooh.
I smell it, like I was dating somebody years ago, and she had like a tequila sunrise um, at a bar, and I couldn't even get near her
Mm,
because I could smell the tequila and just yeah. So no tequila for
nice.
me.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was younger, and these days I don't know if I can do them hardly anymore. Used to take the tequila shot straight up and chase them with beer. Can't do
No,
it anymore.
thank you.
Yeah,
No,
and
thank you.
Tennessee Mike saying he can't scratch his Trasca. Looks new. Trascas are nice watches. That's one I hadn't really been had a chance to get a hold of yet. Is the Trasca,
I reviewed they're
and then
awesome watches.
nice. I like the looks of them. They got that kind of
Hmm.
explorer-esque kind of look, don't they?
Yeah, sort of, but they have a little bit of an original design though.
Mm-hmm.
But a really
Then
nice, beautiful. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
No, but they have like some really interesting. Going back to the Trasco, they have some interesting
Mm.
dial colors that are very appealing.
And Random Rob saying he's wearing the Seamaster all this month. No worry, he can wear a watch soft, even doing manual labor.
Hmm.
Which his work, I'm sure he gets probably the easily scratch watch doing his all the stuff he does too. Because you do what do? You do electrical work, Rob? I think he does, doesn't he? And then Cowboy Swami is saying, is Damasco ice hardening better than Zen tegimenting? Which what do you say is better? I want to know.
So, from my personal experience, because I have had both, um, I haven't noticed a difference in one is harder than the other. They both held up pretty well. I think the tegamented on Zin is like a proprietary solution or treatment. It's not like a coating; it's just the steel itself is like hard. And I think the Masco, I mean, it's hardened, but the steel is already hardened when they get it, um, I believe. But the real story is like I've had both. They've been extremely tough and scratch resistance. I mean, you can scratch them, but it's really hard. In fact, actually, when I went to the Watch Buys Roadshow late, almost a year ago, last December, the guy me and my buddy Ryan were looking at the U1s, the tegmented U1s, and they had a Zin rep there, and he was like, showing us how hard the tegmented steel was, and he
Mm-hmm.
took out some sharp tool and started trying to scratch the U1, and it just wasn't there was no scratches. I mean, it was hard. So if you're worried, getting back to like the whole beater conversation and German watches, because Tennessee Mike brought it up, I need a German beater. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
tegmented or the ice hardened from Damasco, I think you won't lose. I mean, they're both great.
And Rob's saying he doesn't know why he has so many watches. Believe me, it is kind of liberating. I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I've kind of almost started the whole collection over, really. The only thing I have left is the Orange Monster, of course, and the G-Shock. Also, I
But
mean, I got a couple other Casios and stuff, but I don't know if I can really count those or not.
for me, it ebbs and flows. For me, like I at times I feel better when I have a smaller collection, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes I like it when I have a larger collection. It just, I guess it just depends. It depends on what I'm feeling that day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then Design Ateliers telling Rob he needs to take the whole month off and knock out all those watches. Take the whole month off work.
Yeah.
And let's see, just read through the comments again, guys. Sorry. Said like Woman Gamer saying, please do. She's found that one watch a month is perfect. She's on 2 months straight. And then Suedo Scientist is saying he's noticed people who collect something and never have too many of those things. That's the way I feel I'm going to be. Like right now, I feel good, but I feel like I'm probably going to creep back up towards 20 or 30. I have
Yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah.
He's saying gasman. That's what he does. He does, I guess, like natural gas, propane, stuff like that. Installs that. And then Peter C says, all the YouTubers on the stream, I feel like I'm hanging out with coal chefs for after hours. You guys should definitely. I'm making a plug for Random Rob's Patreon. You should join it. There's a pretty good group of guys in there, guys. A lot of cool watch talk. Of course, we're all enablers on everybody too, though. We always enable each other to buy more. And then Tennessee Mike saying, Random Rob, you should try and get a vanity plate gas man, kind of like Seinfeld. I remember that Seinfeld. Yeah, only I don't think I can say it on it. Well, I can say it on here, but I don't want to say what his license plate had. You remember that show? Remember that one?
Yeah. I know which one, the proctologist or whatever.
Yeah, classic show. Speaking of Seinfeld, Jerry was there, or is a Breitling guy. I don't know if you knew that or not. He wears all kinds of different Breitling. Yeah, if you look back at a lot of the old shows, I don't know if he bought them on his own or he was kind of like an ambassador at the time, but he wore like a lot of Navy-timers.
Oh, interesting.
And he still does, I believe. Like I've seen some of his modern stand-up, and I believe he still does. I think the last one I saw, he's wearing like an aerospace. So like I said, I don't know if he's like an ambassador for the brand or if he just enjoys Breitling. So
I think he's also a car guy too.
Oh yeah, he's real big into Porsches. Then Sweater Scientist said another opinionated person knows nothing about watches, but what I like. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the great thing about the hobby too. We all have our own opinions, you know, or our own likes and dislikes. So that's like Tennessee Mike said. If we all like the same thing, then the hobby would be boring too. Is that a trick question? Okay, they're talking among themselves. Let's see. All right. The design atelier is saying, "What's the worst thing you've done to your beater watch?" I don't know what I can't really think of the worst thing. I mean, I wear my G-Shock to work all the time, and I've worn it in the ocean and swimming. But other than that,
I've probably lost a couple like fossil beater watches during bar crawls for sure. Got them scratched up, passing out on the subway or path in Manhattan. So
somebody take it off the wrist.
No, nobody's taking off a fossil off a wrist.
Yeah. I seen. Speaking of, I saw Austin Daniels did a video about wearing Rolex to like other countries where he was worried. I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, no knocking him, but I'm like, I wouldn't wear something that nice to another country. I'd probably wear. Speaking of bringing up the term beater, I mean, I'd probably wear something like this to another country. If I lose $150, I'm not losing out $6,000 to $10,000 or more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna wear if I had a Pepsi GMT, right? I'm probably I'm not gonna travel with it, even though it's a travel watch, and that's why, even though I'm selling it, that's why the Zin 856 UTC. I mean, like it's such a perfect travel watch because it is under the radar. You know, it's got that tegmented steel, so it's matted and so it doesn't attract attention. I mean, you're not gonna see like a polished case, and it's very, very flat, very light, fits under the cuff, and it's tough. It's a perfect travel watch. You know, I would go anywhere with that watch.
And then Six Killer is asking what kind of what brands are underrated. Rob mentioned down there in the comments. He said there's so many that are underrated. A lot are German. I would consider. I was just going to say I would actually consider Breitling to be kind of underrated, just because you can pick them up and you can pick them at buys. Like you can get them at discount. You can go to the ADE and buy them, and they're really restructuring the company. I feel like they're doing a lot of great things. In Mont Blanc was two higher ends, of course, but not really beaters. But sorry, go ahead. What were you saying, Bobby?
No, I mean that's a good kind of segue. I'm going to do a little plug here. Many underrated brands are German, and Six Killers is asking which ones. So tomorrow I am doing a live stream at 3 p.m. Eastern with Max from Axel from Watch Max, and we're going to be talking about German watches and what does made in Germany mean. We're going to talk about some of the watches you know, and then a lot of watches that you don't know, German watches that we don't know here in the States. So, if you have the time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, if not, it's not a time sensitive type of topic, right? So you can always use it as a reference because Axel is going to give a lot of great information, and he lives in Germany. He's from Germany. He knows a lot. He does a lot of reviews of German watches. So if you have the time tomorrow, please watch. If not, just look up my channel, and the video will be there in perpetuity.
All right, and then Spoiler Scientist is saying most micro brands are underrated. That's true. There's a lot of good value in micro brands too. Like you can find a lot of value watches in micro brands. There are some you got to watch out for too. Like some of them aren't, I hate to say crap, but there's some of them that are not really greatly made, I guess you could say. And then Six Killers asking Rob if he's done a take on that. And then Suedo Scientist does bring up a good point. He said if China doubled their quality, the Swiss would be in trouble. Which I can agree with that because I have actually seen some pretty good Chinese watches that are really well made for what, it's not what people would think the stereotypical, bad factory or whatever. It just depends on where you get it from.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Like the Japanese, like the Seiko, And then the old money will always buy the good stuff. Pseudo Scientist is saying. I'm assuming probably like Rolex and PADI stuff like that. But yeah, basically, just to go back on the beater term again, what you think do you think we should like try to coin a new term? I mean, I know we personally probably can't start a whole new term in the hobby, but you think people should try and coin a new term?
I like how you kind of generalized it and called it like an everyday. Like maybe we need to rethink like what everyday carry is or everyday watch is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe call it a beater everyday carry. I don't know. I mean, I guess it seems like people in the comments are fine with the term beater, and I'm fine with it too. I just know that some people get put off by that term for some reason or another, and they're entitled to their own opinion. But I mean, I think like having this conversation with you tonight. I was on the fence. I think I'm still fine. I'm fine with calling it a beater. A beater is a beater. You know, if you're coming from a positive space, and mean it in the most endearing way, then I think it's okay. But if you're calling somebody else's watch a beater and being negative about it, then that's where it kind of sucks.
Yeah, like I've heard the term shitter watch before. Like people think unless it's like Rolex or Patek, and you know who I'm talking about. Calls them shitters if they're not, Rolex or Patek. But I don't agree with that term. There's plenty of great watches even around $100, $200. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Cowboy Swami is saying is a Heimdiller or a Himdiller? Makes a good quality with sapphire crystal surrounding bezel and middle clasp. Is it Himdiller or Heimdiller?
Heimdaller? I've never, I'm not familiar with this brand.
I've seen him, I believe. I think just One More Watch has done videos on them before. I think that's where I've seen him at.
Gotcha.
And that's another good channel, by the way, guys. If you guys are looking, if you're more like in the affordable price range of watches, he covers a lot of different watches. A lot of watches I've never even seen before, and he does good work too. Just is it Jody is his name?
Jody, yeah. Jordy.
Just one. Jody, yeah, I think Jody.
Jody.
Yeah, just One More Watch. He does pretty good work too.
Okay. It is Jody.
Yeah. But and then Tennessee Mike saying he's missing the trolls tonight. Yeah,
they're probably on Clive.
That was they might be over on Clive's stream because he's doing one at the same time too. I didn't realize he was going to do one either. So, but like I said, just want to get this one in before J City Review starts his over there with the other guys. Because that'll be pretty good to catch up on those guys and see what their thoughts on some stuff are. So. But yeah, I hear you, Mike. I'm sorry, it's better conversation. So, but yeah, I think you probably just left the other night whenever all the trolls started coming
I
on.
did. Yeah, I did. I saw them coming in a little bit, but then
Hmm.
um, yeah, I left before they really hit you.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, guys, we're coming in on about 50 minutes now. You guys about ready to call it a night? You've already called it a night, Bobby?
I think so, man. I got a long day tomorrow. Every day's a long
I
day
hear you.
when you have little
I
kids, man.
hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I'm kind of ready to get back to work myself. Like I said, I go back on the 3rd, so
Well,
I'm ready.
thanks for having me
Yeah,
on, man. I
thanks
really
for coming on,
appreciate it.
man. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks for everybody that chimed in the comments and joining in the conversation, guys. Appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next time.
Good night.
All right.